Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the Steve Carlton replay. And I'm going to try to present this one the same way I presented the Fall Classic game, using OBS to show the Action PC screens that give pertinent data like the line score, the pitching matchup, the stats, things like that. Still got our pitchers here and our ballpark and our fast action cards. Starting pitcher Steve Carlton for the Phillies and Claude Osteen for the Dodgers. You can see that Carlton is 4-1 with a 1.53 ERA so far in his starts, 53 innings pitched, only 30 hits allowed. So he's doing quite well for himself, and we'll see if that will continue or not. As we get this thing going, I have to put on the manual entry so that we're ready to go. Got our dice right here. So, stepping to the plate for the Dodgers will be Bill Russell, shortstop. He's on the replay. He's hitting .385 and 52 at-bats. No homers, 8 driven in. We're underway from Veterans Stadium. That's a 7. That's in play, and that's an 11. 11 in play is going to be a base hit for Bill Russell. So Bill Russell, a leadoff single. That's a 7, and his auto steal is a 4, so he cannot get the jump to steal. And that'll bring up Manny Mota. Manny Mota hitting .396 on the replay, a homer and 6 driven in. That's an 8, which is tough. That's a 13. That will be a strikeout. Oh, well, I take it back. No, it will not. You assume it would be, but that's actually a double, 13 to 14. Are you kidding me? Boy, Manny Mota didn't strike out much, so the 13 is actually going to be a double. We flip the fast action card. The double says all the runners will score. So it's a RBI double by Manny Mota, and the Dodgers jump all over Steve Carlton to take an early 1-0 lead. Carlton got to settle in. Here comes Willie Davis, the center fielder, hitting .349, 2 homers, 13 driven in. That's a 5, which is tough. 57, and 57 is going to be a ground ball to third, and with the runner at second base, well, let's check the fast action card just to be on the safe side. Let's see. It's not going to be a ground ball double play out because there's no double play to make. So common sense just says he doesn't advance. So ground ball. And did I say it went to third? I think I said it went to third. I believe so. 57. Yep, went to third. So Money fields it, looks the runner back, throws to first, and they finally get the first out. That'll bring up Frank Robinson. Robinson in right field hitting .243, 5 homers, 12 driven in. That's a 3, which is defense, and that's a 99. So obviously the play will be made. It's an error chance on the second baseman, and that is Harmon. Harmon's error rating. Terry Harmon, where are you? Terry Harmon's error rating is a 5, which is the best you can have. So the only way he makes an error is on a 1 to 14. That's a 99, so obviously it's an out, and it's going to be a ground ball. It says fielder's choice, but it's just going to be a ground out. Runner will go to third, though, because the ball was hit to the right side of the infield, so that will move Manny Mota to third base. So 2 down, and that'll take us to Steve Garvey. First baseman hitting .289, 3 homers, 10 driven in. That's a 7, which is in play, but it's an 81, so that's going to be a fly to center, and that will end the inning. And hopefully by turning down the crowd noise to a minimum, it just gives a little bit of background noise, but not overbearing. That's what my hope is anyway. All right, so we go to the bottom of the first. Claude Osteen, your pitcher for the Dodgers. A 20-game winner in 1972. On the replay, he is 2-2 with a .431 ERA. Larry Bowa is going to lead off, hitting .204. No homers, 5 driven in. It's a 5, which is ballpark. And 77 says we are in the in-play section. So we go to the card for the in-play result. 68 in play for Larry Bowa is not good. That's a ground ball to second. So ground ball right to Bobby Valentine. And there's one away. Bowler retired. Here's Terry Harmon, second baseman. He is hitting .444 in limited duty, just 27 at bats. 5 is ballpark again. This one's 06, so we're in the wheelhouse for Terry Harmon. Only problem is his home run is only 1 to 7. 1 to 51, he at least gets a hit. That's a 08, so he just misses the home run, but the 08 will provide a double for Terry Harmon. So 1-out double by Harmon, and that will put him in scoring position, and that will send up Willie Montañez, the center fielder. Montañez hitting just 200 on the replay, 2 homers, 10 driven in. That is a 7, which is patient 40. Patient 40 will be a walk. So all of a sudden, first and second, with only 1 out. And that brings up Greg Luzinski, the Bull, left fielder. That's a 5, which is ballpark again. 14 is in the wheelhouse of Greg Luzinski. 1 to 35 would be a home run. 73 or less is still a hit. That's a 78, though. And that's going to be a fly to center field for out number 2. And we'll see if that if he can advance on that. No, it's a short fly. So short fly to center field. Was in the wheelhouse, but he got up under it and flies it to Willie Davis for out number 2, with everybody having to hold their positions. Don Money stepping up. Money hitting .232, 3 homers, 10 driven in. 7 is patient 63. That is going to be a single off of Claude Osteen, off the left-hander. Patient 65, 50 to 65. That's a 63. Check runner advancement. Runner on second scores. Runner on first advance. So everybody goes 2 bases. So it's it's an RBI single off the bat of Don Money. He was Money on that play. Montañez takes third. Scoring on the play is Terry Harmon. I'm sorry, it's Terry Harmon. So it's now a 1-1 ball game. We're all tied. Here's Tim McCarver. That's a 7. That's patient 52, and that's another walk. That will load the bases. So Claude Osteen having a rough first inning. Bases are loaded now for Mike Anderson, the right fielder. Only a 178 hitter on the replay. 11 is defense, and we're checking an error chance on the second baseman, and that would be Valentine. So we go to Valentine's card, look at his defensive rating at second base. His error rating is a 4. So we're checking the error rating 4, which over here is a 1 to 20 is an error. Anything else he makes the play, that's a 56. So he will make the play. It's the 3rd out of the inning, so there's no worries about what happens after that. So the inning will end. What I have to do on this computer, though, is make sure the runners don't advance so it doesn't give them an extra run. So we are tied at 1 after 1. Carlton back out. Neither pitcher pitched all that sharply in the first inning. They're going to see if they can turn it around here in the second. Billy Grabarkowitz, I guess is how you pronounce it. He is at the game. He's playing third base in this one, hitting a robust .077. 6 is patient. That's a rare play. A rare play has just come up, and now I thought I had my charts with me. Thought I had them here with me, and I don't know what happened to them. I had them right here. Here they are. They're buried under other stuff. I'll get them real quick. They're right here next to me. I just had to pull them out. They were buried under some other games. I got a lot of stuff here on this little chair next to me. About 4 different game setups. So, all right, it is a patient rare play. So we're going to the patient rare play, and the chart for that starts on this page. So bases empty patient 0 to 68 is this page, and if it's a 69 to 99, we go to this page. So we're going to re-roll this and see what we get. We get a 56. That means we're on the first page. 56 says batter hit by pitch and charges mound. Both teams spill in the field with a lot of pushing and shoving. Next hit batter, this game ignites a brawl with batter and pitcher being ejected and suspended 5 games each. So how about that? Nobody's going to be ejected, but Bakowitz does charge the mound. And finally, cooler heads have prevailed, but he will be at first base after the walk. So he's on, and that brings up Chris Cannizzaro. See if things have settled in now. Cannizzaro hitting 300 on the replay. That's a 9, which is ballpark. 66, though. It's going to be in play as it only goes to 55. So in play and a 76 is a fly to center field on Cannizzaro. Fly to center field by Cannizzaro. And that will be 1 down for Bobby Valentine. Valentine hitting 267 on the replay. Barkowitz at first, 1 out. That's a 2, which is tough. 0-4, that is a strikeout. So he struck him out. 2 down, and that's going to bring up the pitcher, who is using pitcher hitting card number 12. Number 12 right here on the right-hand side. Osteen, a 200 hitter in the replay so far. That's a 2 again, tough 62. That's going to be a strikeout. And that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, still tied at a run apiece here at the Vet. And leading off for the Phillies will be Tom Hutton, first baseman. Hutton hitting 239 on the replay. 9 is in play. 96, though. That's going to be a fly to right field. Easy out. Hauled in by Frank Robinson. Now that'll bring up Steve Carlton. He's using pitcher hitting card number 10, so he'll be on this right-hand side. On the replay, he's hitting 188. Get a 6, which is tough. That's going to be a 94. And so 94, tough. Oh, he just missed a hit. 94 is going to be a fly to left. But at least he didn't strike out. Usually on the toughs, the pitchers strike out. But because of the 94, he flies it to left. And that's out number 2. And here's Larry Boa. 0 for 1. 2 was in play, and that's another rare play on an in play. We got 2 rare plays in 2 innings. So we got in play, bases empty. In play, bases empty. So let's see what we got here. In play, bases empty. And again, that's on 2 separate pages. The first 0 through 44 is on this page. And then I got to find the other half. Where'd the other half go? In play, bases empty. Must be on this page. In play, bases empty. Yeah, there it is right here. So if we get 45 to 99, we'll be on this one. So it's a rare play chance on an in play. And we get an 11. Interesting. So we come over here to this bottom part, 11 on a 6 through 11. Batter lines, ball off pitcher's leg. Batter is safe at first with a single. Check for injury. I don't know if I want to do injuries in this replay, so I didn't say it one way or the other, so I'm going to go ahead and just let it go as a base hit, and we'll keep Osteen in the game. Osteen had 33 starts, 252 innings pitched. His injury rating is showing as durable. So I don't even know. I doubt he would even get hurt to begin with, but I'm just not even going to risk it. We're just going to call it a single and leave it at that. And now Boa has a chance to steal if he'd like, because the original roll was a 2 that took us to the in-play rare play. So he could steal if he wanted to, because he's a 4 here, which beats the 2. If we look at the catcher, first of all, his steal rating is a C, and the catcher in this case, Cannizzaro, his arm is a 5. So a C and a 5, we'll see what that shows on the base stealing chart. C and a 5, let me get to the base stealing section. Where are you? There you are. See what kind of odds we have on the C and the 5. C and a 5 is excellent, so they're going to send Mr. Boa. He's an excellent base stealer, so we're going to flip a fast action card. Excellent says stolen base plus a possible error on the catcher. So it's a possible error on Canizero. Look at Canizero's error rating. And Canizero, his error rating is a 3. So 1 to 27 will be an error. Wait a minute, it says roll 1d6 for the first the error rating. Hold on. 1d6 versus that, right? So we're not looking at this, we're looking at 3. So 1 to 3. 1 to 3, and it says on the chart here for stolen base error, roll 1d6 if higher, then it's a wild throw. So if it's a 1 to 3, he won't make an error. 4, 5, or 6, he will make an error. That's a 1, so there's no error on the play. Russell was able to keep it from getting away from him, but it will be a stolen base for for Larry Boa, rather. So Boa is at second base that's his 5th stolen base of the season, by the way. So with 2 outs, he's at second base for Terry Harmon. That's a 9, which is in play, 96. That's a fly to left, and that will end the inning. So at the end of 2, we have a 1-1 ball game. And again, the crowd noise, Action PC has to make some AI intelligence with the crowd noise because the crowd is cheering at the wrong times. So maybe that's something they can work on with a patch or a future version. I don't know. Bill Russell will lead it off. That's a 4, which is tough. 31. It would be a wild pitch if somebody was on base, but tough 31 instead will be a strikeout. So I believe that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Steve Carlton going back to last inning. That'll bring up Manny Mota in an RBI double his first time up. That's a 2, which is tough. 58. Tough 58 for Manny Mota is going to be a fly to right field. 2 down. And that takes us to Willie Davis, center fielder. That's a 9. Ballpark 98, though, is going to be in play. Check Willie Davis on the in play result. 76. That's a fly to center. And that's going to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down go the Dodgers as Steve Carlton gets it done. Leading off will be Willie Montañez. Montañez stepping to the plate. That's a 9, which is in play. 62. That's well out of range. Fly ball to left field. And Mr. Montañez is out of there. 1 down for the Bull, Greg Luzinski. 10, in play 12. In play 12 is going to be a double for Greg Luzinski. Luzinski gets the 1-out double. Luzinski is 5th double of the season. He's in scoring position for Don Money. And Money had an RBI single his first time up. 2 was in play. 27, that's out of range. 27's a pop-up to the second baseman, Valentine. Popped him up. 2 down, and now it's going to be all up to Tim McCarver if the Phillies are to score. That is an 8, which is in play. 68 out of range. That's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So we played 3 here at the Vet, and the score is still tied 1-1. Carlton back out. We'll face Frank Robinson. 5 is tough. 69. That's going to be out of range. 69 is a ground ball to second. Here's Steve Garvey. That is a 5, which is tough. 96. That's a fly ball to left field. Get those high 90s. You're looking at flyouts. 2 up, 2 down for Billy Grabakowitz, and he rushed the mound after being hit by a pitch last time, so to make sure that didn't happen again. 8 is tough. 18, and Carlton just sat him down, so grab some bench. and that's going to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still tied at 1. And Mike Anderson, Tom Hutton, and Steve Carlton are your scheduled hitters. 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Anderson, 0 for 1. 5 is ballpark. That's an 0-3, so it's in the wheelhouse because that's a 1-55. So Anderson, though, cannot hit a home run against left-handers. He can get a single on a 36 or less. 32, he does get a single, so it's a base hit from Mike Anderson. Again, not a power hitter, but he gets on base. He does get on base. That's a 5, and his steal break is a 2 to get the jump, so he can't do it. He'll hold, and here comes Tommy Hutton, first baseman. 5 is ballpark again, 29. That's in the wheelhouse for Hutton, 1-29. He found a 29. Again, no home runs, though. But it's a 21, and that's going to be a single. And we'll check the advancement. Single, runners advance 1 base. So it's going to be a single. Some people play it that the wheelhouse single is automatic 2-base advancement, but I go by what's on the card. I just go by whatever the fast action card tells me. So runners now at first and second with nobody out. And the pitcher, Steve Carlton, is up there obviously to bunt. So we'll get our bunt chart out and figure out if he, actually we don't need the bunt chart, we use the fast action cards. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Bunt, his bunt rating is, whoops, let's get Carlton back out here. His bunt rating is a C. So we're looking in this section here under C, and it says SH is good to the pitcher. So he bunts it back to Osteen, whose only play is to second base, or to first base rather. It's going to go 1-4, and the other runners advance 90 feet. So the good sacrifice bunt, Carlton does his job, and now the infield is going to come in for Larry Boa with 1 out, second and third. 10 is in play. 18, that's a base hit for Larry Boa. Base hit, runners advance 1 base. So it's going to score 1 run, but Hutton will stop at third. But the Phillies now grab a 2-1 lead as Larry Boa comes through with a base hit. 2-1 Phillies, bottom of the fourth. Here comes Terry Harmon. Dodgers playing now for the double play. A double play would get him out of the inning. 4 is tough, 90. That's going to be a ground ball to short. That is a 4. He's a 5 double play. He's a 7 double play, and they get the double play they wanted. 90 is a ground ball to short. You get the tailor-made, Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, and that ends the inning. So the Phillies get 1, but that's all they get. We go to the top of the fifth. It is 2-1 favor of the Phillies. Coming up for the Dodgers, it'll be Cannizzaro, followed by Valentine and Osteen. 3 is defense, and we're checking the range of the second baseman. Range of Terry Harmon. Harmon, his range is an A, best you can have. That's an 18, so we're doing a range check. It's still going to get through. 1 to 33 is still going to be a hit, so it's a base hit, despite the good range. Cannizzaro will reach, and that'll bring up Bobby Valentine. 8 is tough, 33, and 33 is a base hit. Runner advances 2 bases. So it's a base hit. It's going to put runners at the corners with nobody out. And that brings up Osteen, the pitcher. Osteen's up there. He's going to bunt, but it won't be a suicide. He just wants to bunt Valentine over to second base, get in scoring position, and avoid a double play or striking out. So he wants to make his at-bat worth something. So he's a C bunter. Same routine. C bunter. It says lead. It says here lead but runner. So they're going to get Cannizzaro. It's right back to Carlton. But Carlton's going to field it and throw to Cannizzaro to get the runner at Cannizzaro out at the plate. Wow. How do you like that? A 1-2 put out. Failed bunt. Failed bunt by Claude Osteen. definitely not helping his cause. So here's Bill Russell now. 1 out and runners at first and second. 4 is tough, 29, and that is a strikeout. 2 down, it brings up the tough Manny Mota. 10 is tough, 65, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. That'll do it. Inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 2-1 Phillies. And Osteen kicking himself for not getting down a better bunt. So Montañez will lead things off for the Phillies. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. That's a 6, tough. 0-9, that's definitely a strikeout. Osteen is out of it, or Montañez is out of there from Osteen. Here's Luzinski. He's 1 for 2 with a double. That's a 6, which is tough, and a 0-3. That's definitely another strikeout. So 2 down, and that will send up Don Money. 7 is patient. 85, though, is way out of range. 85 is a ground ball to short. 3 up, 3 down go the Phils here in the 5th. We move on to the 6th with the score still 2-1 Phillies. Carlton and Osteen both have fatigue numbers of 8, so they can go the distance if need be. Here's Willie Davis. He is 0 for 2. Carlton, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts with 1 run allowed. 9 is ballpark. 26, that's in the wheelhouse for Willie Davis. Wheelhouse 30, and that's going to just be a single for Willie Davis. So Willie Davis will get a leadoff single. He's aboard. He is the tying run, and here comes Frank Robinson. 0 for 2. 10 is tough. 30, but 30 is a wild pitch on Carlton. So he uncorks the wild pitch. That eliminates the ground ball double play possibility. And now here's Robinson again. And that is a 8, which is tough. 33, and that's a strikeout. Carlton picking up strikeout number 6. Brings up Steve Garvey. Davis with good speed at second base. 7 is in play. 39, that's out of range. 39 is going to be a ground ball right back to the mound. And we're going to say that he just holds at second base. 2 down for Grabakowicz. 6 is patient. 71, that's out of range, only goes to 67. 71 is a fly to center, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for the Dodgers to get a runner to second, but that's as far as it'll go. And now here is Tim McCarver. It'll be McCarver, Anderson, and Hutton at the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Phils. 7 is patient. 49, and that's going to be a base on balls. So McCarver will draw the leadoff walk.
Ball 4.
And that brings up Anderson. He's an A bunter as well, but you're getting near the bottom of the order, so I think you want to have Anderson swing away. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll that. We get a 9, which is in play. 93, it's a fly to left. 1 down. And that'll send up Tommy Hutton. Carlton on deck. 4 is tough. 91. It's ground ball to second. Possible double play. That's a 4. 7 and a 7. That's definitely going to be a double play. It is another Giovanni's Tailor Shop. Tailor-made double play. 4-6-3. And that will retire the side. So we go to the 7th. Still 2-1. Carlton will be facing Canizero, Valentine, and Osteen. Don't know if the Dodgers want to hit for Osteen yet, although it is starting to get late. 5 is tough, 63, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. Might depend on the base running situation. If If Valentine reaches, they may pinch hit for Osteen. If it's 2 out bases empty, they'll just let Osteen hit. That's a 4, which is tough. 14, that's a strikeout. So they're just going to have Osteen swing way off draw. He's using pitcher hitting card inning 12, so no slouch at the plate. 4 is tough, but a tough result. 95, he won't strike out. He will instead ground to short. And that will end the inning. So we're going to the 7th inning stretch with the score Phillies 2 and the Dodgers 1. All right, bottom of the 7th, Steve Carlton will lead it off. 7 is patient. 84, though, is going to be way out of range. That's a ground ball to short. Handed by Bill Russell. 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Boa. Boa's 2 for 3 with a run driven in. That's a 3 in play. 81. He won't get hit this time. It's a fly to center. Fly out to Willie Davis for out number 2. And here comes Terry Harmon. 12 is wheelhouse, but that's a 99, so it's Harmon. Definitely not going to do anything there. He's just going to fly it to left field. And that'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. We go to the 8th. Still a 2-1 game. This is the fatigue inning for both pitchers coming up. It'll be Russell, Mota, and Davis, top of the order for the Dodgers. 4 is tough, 67, and only goes to 45. 67 is a ground ball to second. Go 1 away. Brings up Manny Mota. 9 is ballpark, and that's in the wheelhouse for Manny Mota. So we're going to check Manny Mota's wheelhouse. 1 to 23 is a home run. 1 to 69, he'll at least have a hit. That's a 47, so that will be a base hit for Manny Mota. That is the 6th hit for the Dodgers. Brings up Willie Davis. That's a 5, which is tough. 24, that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 8 for Steve Carlton. And now here's Frank Robinson. 9 is ballpark. 97, though, is going to be in play. That's an 83. In play 83. Definitely out of range. The ground ball to short. Boa will take care of it. He'll just toss it to first to take care of business. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is still tied at a run apiece. I'm sorry, the Phillies still lead at 2-1, I should say. Not sure why I said tied. Forgot the Phillies had scored back in the 5th inning. Or 4th inning, actually. So, Montañez is going to bat against Osteen. 5 is ballpark. 67 is going to be in play for a lefty. In play 45 is going to be out of range. That is going to be a ground ball to first. So Garvey will take it to the bag himself. 1 away. And that'll send up Greg Luzinski. 7 is patient. 53, and that's going to be a base hit for Greg Luzinski. His 2nd hit of the game. Bull, Greg Luzinski, with his 2nd hit. And they see if the Phillies want to go to a pinch runner with a better defender, because Luzinski in the outfield, seeing a 3, it's not too bad, but they might have somebody better. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Yeah, they're going to go to, they're going to pinch run with Ron Stone, and he's going to stay in the game to play left field, as he is a better runner and a better defender. So Ron Stone. Ron Stone is your new runner at first base with 1 out. And Don Money the batter. 6 is tough, 47, and that's a base hit for Don Money. That's going to be a single 1-base advancement. So runners are at first and second. And now you wonder if the Dodgers might go to the bullpen shortly. After McCarver, you got the righty Anderson. So looking at the bullpen for the Dodgers, their closer is Brewer, but they've got some decent other relievers. So they're looking at, we are looking at Pete Mickelson. Pete Mickelson loosening in the bullpen for the Dodgers just in case Osteen doesn't get McCarver. Or even if he gets McCarver, they still may bring him in for that righty-righty matchup. 3 is in play, 54, and 54 is a ground ball to third, and that's a 3, so there you go, another double play. This one around the horn, 5-4-3. So they won't need Mr. Mickelson unless it goes to the bottom of the 9th. So a 5-4-3 double play ends the inning. And we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Dodgers. Stone will be inserted into the game in left field after he pinch ran. So that they are not short of a fielder there, as the game was asking for that. So that's going to be it for Osteen. Carlton out there to finish what he started. Looking at the Philly bullpen, in case Carlton should run into issues. The Phillies closer, if you want to call it that. The guy that had the most saves was Joe Horner, another lefty. So Joe Horner, whoops, pull him up here. Joe Horner is loosening in the Philly bullpen. Joe Horner, and he would come in if Carlton can't get the job done to finish the game. Right now, though, Steve Garvey is your batter. He is 0 for 3. It'll be Garvey, Gorbakowitz, and Canizero, but we'll check the bench for better hitters. 10 is tough, 63. Outer range, 63 is a ground ball to second. Terry Harmon will make the play. 1 away. So let's look at the Dodger bench. See what they have on the bench. They got a lot of lefties on the bench, that's for sure. You got Bill Buckner, Duke Sims. You got Willie Crawford, all 3 left-handed. You have Maury Wills, he's not a very good hitter. You do have Wes Parker. He's a pretty good hitter, so they're going to pinch hit for Gorbakowitz with Wes Parker. So Wes Parker will come in and hit for Gorbakowitz as they try to find some offense. So the pinch hitter for Gorbakowitz will be Wes Parker. He is a switch hitter, and he will come in to hit. Wes Parker. Parker 203 on the replay, but he did hit 279 on the season. But hit 316 against lefties on the season. That's a 12, which is tough, 76. And that's going to be a fly to center. So that's 2 away. Carlton 1 out away from getting the job done. You can see his little number here by his name is in red, so he's getting close to being tired. The scheduled hitter is Canizero. He will not hit. He'll be called back. Dodgers will look for somebody else that might be able to give him a boost. But they really don't have much left on the bench. Actually, the best guy they have, the best one they have is actually a lefty, and that's Bill Buckner. That's where they're going. So they're going to go to Billy Buck. Billy Buckner. He's a 286 hitter against lefties, 319 hitter overall. So Billy Buckner with a chance to try to keep the game going here against Carlton. 9 is ballpark, 71, though it's going to be in play. And that's a 69, in play 69. The ground ball to short, and that's going to do it. Steve Carlton finishes it off, a 2-1 tidy victory by the Phillies. 2-1. Steve Carlton, 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, a run, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. He now improves to 5-1 on the season, and the Phillies improve their record as well. Let's pull up the box score here. They've improved their record to 12-12. Osteen drops to 2 and 3. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of the 1972 Steve Carlton replay. I believe this was start number 7 for him. He is now 5-1 with 1 no decision. I'm not sure when his next start is or who his next start is going to be against. I guess I can look it up real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to sim the other games until we get to Carlton. Let's see, Carlton today was May the 13th. So we'll see when the next Carlton start is going to be. May 13th. Get to 1972. Steve Carlton. All right. May the 13th was this date. May the 17th against the Cubs. At home against the Cubs on May 17th. So I'm going to go ahead and sim everything up until May 16th. Go and sim it all to get everything where it needs to be. And then we can get things set up for the Phillies and the Cubs. That'll be coming up in the future. That's the next Carlton start against the Cubs at Veterans. His next 3 starts will be at home, so we will be at Veterans Stadium. So we're going to get to what they've got going on. Once the computer sims everything. Going pretty slowly here right now. Just on May 16th. One more day, and then we'll get to Carlton. Then we can wrap this up and set you up for the next start. It will be against the Cubs. I believe it's Ferguson Jenkins, but I'll have to double check it. I think he drew Ferguson Jenkins, but it might not be. That might have been the first time he played the Cubs. This one might be Bill Hands. Let's see. Yep, it's Bill Hands. So Steve Carlton against Bill Hands. That'll be the next ball game. And that'll be sometime next week. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.